All right, hi again, everybody, and welcome back to Taylor Field. And we're with you now for the rest of the night. And Argo fans are going to like what they hear. It's 17-0 for the Toronto Argonauts. First of all, the weather brought to you by the Weather Network. Everything looks pretty good. We're hoping the rain holds off. It was raining hard earlier today, and you know how it goes in the prairies. Here are the touchdowns that you've missed. We showed you this one earlier in an earlier update. Jimmy Kemp, following a Riders turnover, had all kinds of time to loft it up for Daryl Mitchell. A 24-yard pass, and his first touchdown of the season, followed by his second touchdown of the season. This after another Saskatchewan turnover by Henry Burris. Kemp, again, he had Mike Pinball Clemens wide open. Instead, he threw into double coverage, but when you got Daryl Mitchell on the end of it, Matt Dunnigan, he can reel it in, and it's 17-0 Argos.
Dave, I'll tell you this, the Toronto formations are just confusing Saskatchewan's defense right now. We know they've got 5 new people in the secondary, and it's showing. Actually, on the other side of Mookie Mitchell's touchdown catch, the second one, Mike Pinball Clemens wide open down the left side, nobody covered.
And now it's time for the Riders to answer the bell here. This is Deon Tyler. Number 35 with a lot of room. Deon Tyler's to the 50-yard line, and he's finally wrapped up inside the Argos 50, and this crowd finally has something to cheer about after a 66-yard punt, a kickoff, and a 52-yard return.
This is just what the doctor ordered. Deon Tyler right on cue. Everybody's falling asleep here at Taylor Field. This man's not very tall. He's 5'6", goes about 204 pounds. He can flat out scoot. Danny Barrett's really excited about him, start of the ball game, and he shows us why. He's got great acceleration, low center of gravity. Made it happen for the Riders on that play.
Well, so far this game has not gone Danny Barrett's way. The new coach in Saskatchewan, penalties and turnovers have really hurt his club. However, here's Curtis March, and he's got some room, and he's inside the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at some of the new names and faces involved in this ball game, beginning with the Riders offense. The lineups are brought to you by Midas Henry. Hank Burris is the new quarterback. His new wideouts are Curtis Marsh, you just saw him, and on the other side, number 82, Daryl Hobbs. The offensive line is probably the strength of this entire team, and it is anchored by the left tackle, 3-time Western All-Star John Terry. So it's 1st and 10 from the 29. Burris going to Hobbs, who's got lots of room. Daryl Hobbs, touchdown! Now they got something to cheer about. Daryl Hobbs on the end of a 29-yard touchdown pass and run, and the Riders are on the board.
As on cue, got the big kickoff return, and then what do you do for a young quarterback who's struggling early in the first quarter? Get him some simple throws. Quick hitches outside, let your teammates work around you. We got it on 1st and 10 for an easy first down for the touchdown there to Hobbs. That's where to get somebody involved in the football game.
There's been a lot of talk in the preseason about the 2 new wideouts, Marsh and Hobbs, and they were both in on that touchdown drive after a great return from another new player, Deon Tyler. It's 17-7, and we got some points on the board here in Regina. You're watching the CFL Live.
CFL football on TSN is brought to you by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
How do you get a quarterback involved in a game? Feed the rock to some veteran receivers. 1, 2, 3, get rid of the football. Right here, right here, right now, you got a choice, inside or outside. He gives him a quick move outside. He beats Wayne Shaw, takes it to the inside, and then Hobbs does the rest. Sprint to the end zone. Much needed for the Saskatchewan Roughriders to get back in this football game.
Did they ever need that? Because on the previous Saskatchewan drive, Henry Burris fumbled it away, and that led to Daryl Mitchell's second touchdown of the ball game, but they have answered. And now it's time for the Argos to answer. Mike Pinball Clemens met hard at his own 30-yard line by number 47, Aaron Collins.
Clements is hammered to a stop by 27.
So now let's take a look at the Toronto Argonauts offense. This lineup brought to you by Midas. Jimmy Kemp found out about, 15 minutes before this game that he was the starting quarterback. They're using the double tight end formation. They are James Haley and Richard Clark. The offensive line has some new faces. You got Jude St. John and Chad Folk and Steve Salter. You know them, but this is a unit that still needs to gel. They were concerned about it coming into this ball game, but so far, so good. And Kemp has done a great job moving the ball early into this second quarter. And he's been using this guy an awful lot. Thought that was Pinball Clemens, but instead that's number 27, Michael Jenkins, a rookie out of Arkansas. And that's the first time we've seen him in this ball game.
A lot of acquisitions over the offseason, and one of the biggest for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Johnny Scott, to shore up that defensive line that was run on so many times. And the whole new secondary in the back. A familiar face for the Toronto Argonauts. Alundis Bryce is the only familiar face back there.
Second and long for Kemp. Puts it over the middle for Darryl Mitchell, who is close to a first down, but I don't think he got there.
Darryl Mitchell.
Kemp's been mixing it up. You're right. We've seen a lot of this double tight end formation. There was a lot of talk going into this ball game. They've used it, and it's worked, hasn't it?
Oh, it's really kept Saskatchewan off balance. It's got me off balance, too. Did I say Johnny Scott? Demetrius Maxey, big offseason acquisition for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Boy, and he's got a bone to pick with a few folks over there on the Toronto Argonaut offense.
Yeah, well, mainly this guy that we're looking at, John Heward. They got into a war of words in the papers right across the country. It was all picked up, but Maxey is pumped up, and it is a first down. He must have got a real nice spot, because from our angle it didn't look like he got there, but he did. And it's 1st and 10 for the Argos, who are moving that ball again. Demetrius Maxey had 11 sacks for the Argos last year. Led the team.
1st and 10.
And when recently asked about John Heward, he gave it the old Rhett Butler routine from Gone with the Wind. Frankly, my dear. And a running play by the Argos.
27, Michael Jenkins.
Michael Jenkins again picking up a couple. Yeah, Demetrius Maxey and John Heward, no love lost there, Matt.
By number 43, Arkel.
Not a lot of love lost, and they're not mincing any words here.
No.
They're well documented across the country. You can see this right here. Doesn't have any nice things to say about Coach Heward.
Well, when John Heward showed up as the head coach of the Toronto Argonauts, he basically came right out and said that the Argos defense last year was overrated, when it was the top-ranked defense in the entire CFL, leading the CFL in 12 of 25 categories. And Maxey, of all the players on that unit, seemed to take his comments the most personal.
Well, did he actually hear Coach Heward, J.I. Albrecht, say those things?
Actually, yeah, he did.
When I talked to J.I., when I talked to Coach Heward, they said, hey, we simply said there can be some adjustments here. There's room for improvement. And, you know, you get the war of words going, and did you say this? Did I say that? And before you know it, everybody's been out of shape, and you got good press.
He was great press a couple of weeks ago, Demetrius Maxey, when he said that when the Argonauts come into Regina, it's going to be a massacre. He recently backed off those comments. He said he was just having some fun, but they're into the ball game now, and that's the most important thing for both of these teams, is that they're finally playing a ball game. The Argonauts have faced so much criticism leading up to this ball game, and so far they are answering the critics, and we're getting to see what these Saskatchewan Roughriders look like. And neither, I gotta say, look like teams that have new personnel top to bottom. Kemp with lots of time decides to keep it and run, and he is close to a first down.
Number 15, Jimmy
That's a
Kemp.
quarterback right there, knows what he's got to get. He knew he had to get down, very close to a first down. Jimmy Kemp showing you that he's got mobility back there. Didn't see anything downfield. You saw typical Gary Etcheberry defense there. They lined up everybody across the board, then dropped off, confused the quarterback enough to where he had to pull it down and try to make something happen by himself.
This is going to be another close call that's going to require a measurement. Let's talk a little bit about the starting quarterback situation for the Argos. Jimmy Kemp, as mentioned, we talked to him an hour before kickoff. Neither he nor Jay Parker knew if they were in fact going to be the starter in this ballgame. Is that an unnecessary distraction?
Well, it'll keep both those quarterbacks focused, but I think more importantly, his teammates or their teammates need to know who's starting, because you want to be able to communicate, get on the same page. You want to lobby for the football. I remember Gerald Wilcox, David Williams, those guys, they were my best buddies before the game. And after the game, of course. But I tell you, it's important for everybody to know who the starting quarterback is. But Coach Hewart's philosophy is bring them closer together. Let's not tell them. Let's keep a team unity, make them both think they're starting so they prepare like starters. And who knows? Maybe it's working. They're up 17-7.
As you saw, they were short. So they're forced to kick it away. Here's Prefontaine, who's got a very strong leg. Gets a pretty good punt away. And it's gathered up by Gulliford. Eric Gulliford wrapped up before he gets too far. He's inside his own 25-yard line. There's 10 minutes to go in the second quarter of play. We got a 17-7 ball game. It's the CFL on TSN. The new general manager for the Saskatchewan Roughriders is Roy Shivers, and he joins our Ray Morrison.
Thank you, Dave. Roy, you were introduced as general manager of the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Christmas Eve. You've had from then to now to get ready for this day. Tell me your initial thoughts in the past 6 months.
It's been hectic, but I'm happy the season's finally here. We can get started now.
The core of players you've brought in here, tell me about what you've been able to obtain, I guess especially on offense, where many consider you young. There are a ton of veterans there.
Well, we're young everywhere except on the offensive line. That's probably our veteran group right at this moment, you know, but at the other positions, we're very young.
Thank you very much, Roy. Let's go back to Dave.
Thank you, Ray. There is a real Calgary connection on this team.
2nd and 5 Riders.
Roy Shivers, of course, the longtime assistant general manager for the Stampeders. Danny Barrett was a former quarterback and coach, assistant coach with them. Bob Vespasiani coached their D-line for the last 6 years. Henry Burris, of course, a former backup quarterback. And Dwayne Dimitrition is back home in Saskatchewan. He began his career for the Stamps. That's Dylan Ching, number 7, on the end of that reception.
Dylan Ching.
On 2nd and 5. Looks like it's a first down.
Number 6, Vernon Mitchell.
We still have not met or introduced you to the Toronto Argonauts defense. A lot of new faces there, Matt.
Yeah, and I already introduced you Johnny Scott. Yeah, Johnny Scott is showing up that defensive line. Best defensive player in the league last year. Calvin Tagle comes over from Hamilton. Into the secondary, you take the best corner cover guy on their team last year, put him at free safety, and mix in a couple of new faces, and you got the Toronto secondary.
And there is Calvin Tagle, last year's most outstanding defensive player. Henry Burris swinging it out to Hobbs. He did not hang on to it before he went out of bounds.
Showing off a strong arm.
6'2", 180, 32 years old, very experienced.
Henry showing off a strong arm. That's from the...
He should probably squeeze that ball, don't you think, Matt?
Yeah. Yeah, that ball didn't have all the zip that Henry can put on it, but he showed you he can throw the wide side out. And with some people in his face, he had some visitors there in a hurry. Glenn Young was all up in his biscuit.
Glenn Young, part of a pretty strong linebacking core in Toronto, along with Tagle and Martavius Houston. Here's Burris on 2nd and 10, and that is a ball that the rookie's got to squeeze. Deon Tyler's looked all right running out of the backfield. Catching sometimes can be a different situation, and he dropped that one flat out, and the Riders will have to kick it away.
Well, this is what you want to do right here now, is you want to take Henry after 2 drops, balls that should have been caught, and say, hey, look, forget about those. Let's just move on, because that, for a young guy, can throw him off kilter for a couple series, and a couple series, you know, in this game, can put you behind the 8 ball in a hurry.
Paul McCallum had a very good year kicking field goals last season. His punt average, however, was not so good. Talking to him before the game, he wanted to shore that up. Gets away a great punt here. He's been punting the ball well tonight. He backed up Clemens inside his 15, but Clemens gets it back and then some out to his own 30. And the Argos will take over from there with a 10-point lead at Taylor Field. It's the CFL Live on TSN. And welcome back to Taylor Field in Regina. Dave Randorf along with Matt Dunnigan, and there's a lot of football fans in this city that are excited and kind of curious to see what they got. Good crowd turned out tonight to see not only the new turf but the new team, and so far I think so good.
Oh, I think it's a fantastic game. I think there's so much the question in the air that people just didn't know what to expect. And what we're getting here is a good old-fashioned great CFL football game, and a lot of entertainment, a couple turnovers, some big plays, some big hits.
We should also mention that it's Don Narcisse night here tonight. They had a special ceremony for the long-time great Saskatchewan Roughrider wide receiver. Had a little ceremony before the game. We'll show you a little of that
I saw that ceremony. He was surrounded by cheerleaders.
Yeah, fly him all the way up, and they surround him with cheerleaders. Not so bad, but of course he holds a number of team records and one league record that Alan Pitts is busy chasing him on. So Don Narcisse, no longer a part of that Riders offense. They got a couple of new guys by the name of Hobbs and Curtis Marsh. But first, we are going to show you that Argonauts offense. They were backed up after that return by Clemens after a face mask penalty. And the handoff goes to number 27. That's Jenkins.
Number 27, Michael Jenkins.
Michael Jenkins getting involved in the running game. A gain of 14 on the play.
Being brought down by 96, Muhammad Ali.
Jenkins showing you what he did too. In the Cotton Bowl, just chewing up some yards in the Cotton Bowl, chewing them up here at Taylor Field now. Jenkins, low center of gravity, rookie from Arkansas, ate up Texas last year in the Cotton Bowl.
Well, they gave him some breathing room. They got a first down from the 21-yard line. They give to Jenkins again. He gets to the outside. Flags are down. Another good run by the rookie out of Alabama. I beg your pardon, Arkansas.
There are flags down.
Gain of 11 on that play, but we'll see what the flags are all about. They've also got another running back.
Holding. Toronto 89. First down.
That's one of the rookie tight ends, Richard Clark, a Burlington native, and John Heward won't be happy about that. I was mentioning they've got another rookie running back by the name of Morgan Welch. People from Edmonton may be familiar with him. He's from Edmonton.
One ball Weber State.
Yeah, we may get to see him as well. In talking to Heward before the game, said we're going to see a lot of new faces out there tonight. So it's 1st and 20. The Argos from their own 10-yard line, back where they started from. And they go right back to Jenkins. He goes straight up the middle to get maybe half of it back. Gain of 8 on that play. You know, talking about John Heward.
Double tight end offense. We've been seeing a lot of it all night long. Here's a tight end here. Here's a tight end here. It's simple. You just smash mouth football, create more gaps for them to cover, and let Jenkins do his thing, squeeze through a little bit of a gap, and then explode through it and gain some positive yards.
Still 2nd and long, 2nd and 12. We'll get to Heward in a moment. Kemp out of the shotgun. Got everybody out, swings it out, and is that complete? Yes, it is. The receiver is number 83, Tyrone Brown. But it is not going to be near enough for a first down. And the Riders look to get pretty good field position out of this whole transaction.
Smart play by Jimmy Kemp. You know, nothing downfield for him, so he's going to take the sure thing. Yeah, it's not a big gain. If in fact it's a loss, but rather that than make an errant throw, turn the ball over, and give Saskatchewan momentum here late in the second quarter.
That last pass.
Now, we mentioned Kemp not finding out about his starting assignment until late. At least he's a veteran. He's got experience, and quite frankly, neither he nor Barker seemed frazzled about the whole situation. They were taking it in stride.
Took most of the snaps during preseason as well.
Yeah, Barker was hurt during the preseason, didn't play at all in the preseason games. Not a great punt there by Prefontaine. There'll be no yards on that one as Gulliford skips over the 50, and we will take a break. The offense has slowed down a bit at Taylor Field.
Shop at Safeway. Swipe your Safeway.
He was the most sought-after free agent this past offseason in the CFL. Henry Burrs, here's what he's done so far. He's used his running backs. He's also thrown the ball a little bit. Obviously one for a touchdown, and he's going to throw this one again. Burrs airing it out. And that is Dan Farthing, and he is gone. A 48-yard play for the 10-year veteran from Saskatoon. And we got ourselves a ball game here.
We said it with Toronto, and I'll say it with Saskatchewan. Good teams convert on turnovers. They come out right away, punt, They declined the no yards penalty, got good field position. A quick change of possession, and they've got a quick score. Gets them right back in the football game before the half.
Paul McCallum on for the extra point. It is good, and it's a 3-point ball game. Dan Farthing gets his first touchdown of the year. He only had one all of last year.
We'll just take a look at it here. Simple pump fake. They just scored on a little hitch, so they pumped the hitch, and they hit Farthing screaming up the seam, wide open. Henry Burris did a great job of buying himself some time. And look at him. The big guy celebrating his second touchdown as a start here for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And DB on the sidelines, hey, he's a quarterback. He knows exactly what this young man's feeling. He's going, that away, boy. Well, that feels good done. I knew it was there. I told you. Hey, it's fun down there now, baby. They got it rolling. They got him on the hit. They got him on the pump. And now they got him down the seams. Those are real simple passes that he can have a high execution rate and success rate with.
Made a great read as well. And this is a key for Burris, because earlier on in the game, before we joined you, or before you joined us, Burris fumbled the ball away while he was running around, and that led directly to a Toronto Argonauts touchdown by Daryl Mitchell, and he has responded with 2 touchdown passes, and all of a sudden life ain't so bad here in Regina for him. Good start. And there's Danny Barrett, his first career game as a head coach in this league, and you're right on about him being a former quarterback. He knows how that feels, Matt, as you do. Here's Brown. Tyrone Brown with some room up the middle before he's met by number 47, Aaron Collins, with another special teams tackle.
Brown brought down by number 47, Aaron Collins.
And back out comes Jimmy Kemp, who, as mentioned, got the word very late. And how's that? You think, look at his numbers. Do you think he was bothered by the fact that he didn't know he was starting?
Not at all. Both he and Jay Barker, they don't have that type of mentality. They're very easygoing guys. They're both well prepared. They are taking it in stride. Didn't affect them. I think the question you directed to me was, would it affect me? Yeah, it didn't affect me, but not these guys. They're more even-keeled than I was.
They'll start from the 33-yard line. Kemp rolls out. Lots of time. Does he have a man? No, he doesn't. It threw it just in front of his intended receiver. You know, way back when Kemp was with the Sacramento Gold Miners, he played his very first game here at Taylor Field. He was telling me about this last night. Anthony Calvillo got hurt. He came in. He said he did pretty well. So he had some good feelings coming back in here.
So he's in his comfort zone, obviously. Right there, it looked like a broken play. Things didn't look smooth from under the center. They had no play fake. He was out and around by himself, but he only had one receiver, and he had Mitchell coming across late. And it just wasn't a very good looking play from the start.
And as a result, it's 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun, Kemp goes to work. A screen pass to Mitchell again. Looking for that first down marker, but he's cut down nicely by Stefan Fortin. Daryl Mitchell, of course, has the 2 touchdown receptions for the Argos tonight. And Fortin was not fooled.
That's exactly what you want to do in Saskatchewan. 2nd down and long. You play soft. You make him throw underneath to Mitchell. Mitchell makes the grab, and you come up and you make the tackle. Yeah, the first guy misses him, but you swarm defense, and you gang tackle, and you make him punt the football.
I think Fortin's just carrying on the tradition of guys who wore 27 here in Regina. Didn't another guy we know wear that number?
They should hang that one up. Boy, no one's ever going to wear it like Glenn Suter did.
Let's see what we got out of this one. Not much of a return here for Hobbs. No return on a punt of 49 yards. And the hot hand of Henry Burris will come right back out to see if he can't get his team in front, or at least tie the ball game. I mentioned how Henry Burris was the most sought-after free agent because quarterbacks are, they're hard to find in this league. Winnipeg was after him, but he said the difference in coming here to Regina was Danny Barrett.
Well, obviously you got to feel comfortable with a coach like Danny, who's so even-keeled. He's a great quarterback in this league, and he's really taking advantage of some simple things that Henry can do well right now early in the game.
And he's starting to do them well. He'll play action, he'll roll out. And threw it away to nobody. He had nobody open.
Veteran play.
Well, you know what you see there is that I asked Barrett about him. What do you like about him? Well, he can throw the ball and he's sharp mentally. He's smart. He makes good decisions. And with that, the 3-minute warning is upon us. 17-14. Halftime's on the way, but we still got some football to play. Beautiful night so far here in Regina. We're hoping the rain holds off. We're 3 minutes away from halftime, and at that time, we're going to join James Dudley and Eric Tillman and Chris Schultz. And, well, no, you're here, so I guess you're out.
I'm out. Odd man out. They'll handle it.
You think so?
They'll handle it. They'll be just fine.
Tillman's going to take all your airtime. You know.
Schultz has got to drink double coffee.
Licking his chops back there. 2nd and 10 for the Riders. Burris. Here comes the heat. He gets away from one tackle. No, he did not get away from Roger Dunbrack.
With the ball, quarterback Henry Burris. He's brought down by number 70.
He dodged one, but
Dunbrack.
not the other. And the Canadian out of Western, Dunbrack, brings him down.
Saw just a little bit of his inexperience there. Packed up, trying to make a play. Should have come right back and dumped that football out of bounds. You know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's a lot easier up here, but the young man's trying to make things happen, get his team back on top. That's going to cost him.
That's a tough one because it's a loss of 15. It backs McCallum up into the end zone. It's going to give the Argos some good field position to work with 2:42 on the clock. Dunbrack just got him by the shoestrings there. Made a nice play. And there is McCallum getting set to punt it away. He's been punting well. And this is another good one. He belts it. Backs up the return man. Clemens looking for any kind of hole, and it is not there. Great job by the Saskatchewan special teams. A 60-yard punt. And the Argos will start from around their 40-yard line. There are the numbers on Mookie. He only played half a season with the Argos last year. Still had 7 touchdowns, Matt. The guy is an athlete.
Is he on the pace for another record-breaking season?
Maybe.
Like in '98? This guy's unbelievable. The more I watch him play, the more I like him. He can go over the top, he can go underneath. He's quick, he's elusive, he's a tough kid.
Out of Kent's 8 completions, 4 of them have gone to Mitchell. First and 10. There's a handoff here to Jenkins. Michael Jenkins picks up a couple, but not much more. As the Saskatchewan D, led by number 38, George White, stuffs that run, and that's a good sign because they had a lot of trouble doing that a year ago, man.
They really did. Everybody ran the ball well against Saskatchewan. And, you know, I'm looking at White down there, number 38.
Rams 50-50 now.
He looks like a linebacker. He's so big. He's a big kid.
5'11", 205. One of 4 rookies in the defensive backfield for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and guys like Mitchell, their eyes light up when they see something like that. The pressure came, and that ball is picked off. Vincent Donaldson.
The pass by quarterback Jimmy Kent was hit.
32-year-old Vincent Donaldson has moved up to the linebacker position this year, and that is a big, big play with 1:46 on the clock.
Right here, they've got 8 people in line of scrimmage. Count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in line of scrimmage. More than what Toronto can block, and that's what Gary Echeverry is all about. If he blocks 7, I'm bringing 8. And then who pays the price? The signal caller, Cap. He just gets power drive by
Antoine Hunter, number 39.
the 2 rookies, White and Hunter.
Yeah. Flag on that play.
Eric Gilliford, there are flags on the play.
The pass was complete. We'll have to wait and see what the call was. But yeah, great play by another one of the rookie DBs, Hunter. And Burris is looking forward to punching this thing in.
Well, he's hungry. He's feeling it now. He's got 2 quick scores.
Forward pass
They're working the
Front of number 6. First down.
They're working the short game. They've got the hitches. They've got the seams. They got some momentum working for him. Danny Barrett feels it. He's conveying that. to his young quarterback. His young quarterback got the look in his eyes, and they're ready to punch another one in here.
Vernon Mitchell was the guilty party on that play, and now the brakes are starting to go against the Argonauts. They were getting the turnovers and the penalty calls early, and now things are turning around a little bit. Burris from the Argos 43 out of the shotgun, hands to the big fullback Chris Zarka. Zarka hurdles one tackle, and he's close to another first down.
When you think you got him figured out, they throw a Zarka at you.
No kidding.
A shotgun.
Number 12, Adrian Smith.
It's almost like just a run and counter, just lead a couple people out and around, and Zarka follows them, shotgun, and picks up, what, 12? 11, 12?
Here's a guy.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, first down. Here's a guy from Vancouver who was very excited to be in the starting lineup. Started the last game of the regular season for the Riders last year. Burris out of the pocket to Gulliford, and he's right on that first down marker again. The Riders are moving the chains.
Number 84, Eric Gulliford.
Burris is hot.
He's taken out of bounds by 25, Martavius Houston.
I don't know who I like watching better, Henry Burris or Danny Barrett. Barrett's got the swagger working on the sidelines. Burris is all fired up. These guys are just having fun out there right now. This is what the game's all about. And you can really see a rapport happening here with Danny Barrett and Henry Burris.
Burris is a younger version of Danny Barrett personality-wise. Man, we were talking to him before the game. He's got a smile as wide as they come.
Look at that swagger on
Feeling
DB.
no pressure.
Look at him.
Yeah, both of them.
Saw that when he was playing too many times.
First and 10 from the 20-yard line. Burris again looking to throw. There he goes, but that one is way too high. He saw Gulliford, but the coverage was tight, and he threw that one away.
Ooh, that was some heat. That was some heat. That was like a rocker high heater in New York.
Look at the smile. You think he's feeling any pressure tonight?
Gulliford right here. Let's check him out. He's in the slot. He's got a good jump, times it up well, climbs the defender. Never really had time to get up on Capers. Never had time to get up on Capers, and Capers just played up over the top. It's probably the best place for the football.
Second and 10 again. Again, he goes to his man, Farthing, and it was just out of his reach.
Burris' pass in and out of the hands, number 10.
I can't get over this guy. Look at him. He's just having fun. This is what it's supposed to be about.
And that's why people love him. That's why he's most coveted, recruit and free agent this offseason, is because he's got that mentality of just he's a cool, level-headed kid that can get her done, and he's just going to feed off of Danny Barrett, put him in field goal range, chance to tie the game before the half.
And look at the crowd. Look at the response he gets from the crowd. He didn't punch it in for a touchdown, but they recognize what he's done and what he's doing. They haven't had a quarterback, a real good, solid starting quarterback. You know, Reggie Slack did some good things, but not for an extended period of time like maybe Ken Austin did. That one is wide by McCallum. And they'll have to concede the single point to get them within 2. So what was looking very good ends up being just one single point. But it's still a close ball game, 17-15 in the dying moments of the second quarter. 1:01 to go on the clock here in the second quarter. A 28-yarder from Paul McCallum was wide, and it remains a 2-point ball game. Kemp swings it out to Mitchell. Mitchell's got a lot of room, gets out to his own 50-yard line.
To number 87, Daryl Mitchell.
Daryl Mitchell, I mentioned Kemp swung it out. They snuck in number 7, Jay Barker, in there. He is now into the ball game, as John Heward opts to mix it up a little bit. And I had an inkling he would do this.
I don't think he had a choice, David. You know, last series we saw Jimmy Kemp get lit up by the 2 young DBs from Saskatchewan, and I think he's almost forced to go to this change, but it's good. I know Jay Barker's not complaining.
Really? You think the hook's got to be that quick?
Guard, guard.
First and 10 from the 50. Barker flags before that play even got underway. And that's a timing play, and, you know, a new quarterback in here. They all got mixed up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but I think you misunderstood me. I'm not saying that he that he pulled Jimmy Kemp. I'm telling you that Jimmy Kemp is banged up after taking a heavy shot the last series when he fed up that interception.
Right, okay.
I think he had to. I think he's given a series to recoup.
All right. We'll try and confirm that down on the Argos sideline. See if there is anything to that. Well, there's Kemp. He's up and walking.
He may not know he's walking. Been there, done that.
You've been there, haven't you, partner? I shouldn't question you on that matter. And you can see his reaction. He's upset.
Yeah, but I really think that
Time
Coach
count
Hewers,
violation. Corner number 7. Lost it down. Second down.
really think that Coach Hewers doing the right thing here, though. Give him the half, basically. You're going to let Barker finish this one out. Let him clear his head.
I think you and Jimmy Kemp would beg to differ right now, but we'll see. That's what it's all about. Barker out of the shotgun. Puts it on his hip and runs for a first down. Flag on the play. Late hit, possibly.
Flag on the play.
Now, Jay Parker, as mentioned, had a hamstring problem all through training camp. Did not play in either of the preseason games. It's probably a good thing he didn't play last week in Winnipeg. Nobody
Major
enjoyed it.
foul. Piling on. Saskatchewan 24. First down.
Whoa, major foul. And that hurts.
We saw this a lot last year, Dave. You know, the ability of Jay Parker to do just this, make something out of nothing. You mentioned he had the sore hamstring. It doesn't look sore here. He pitter-patters, put his big frame down there, and then we get the piling on by Vincent, kind of staples him to turf.
A 15-yard penalty, net gain of 26. Barker flings it across the field to number 83, Tyrone Brown. 23 seconds to go on the clock. They're already well within field goal range.
Vincent Donaldson.
Where's the Saskatchewan rush? Had all day long there in the pocket and found Brown coming across the middle. Just kind of sidearmed it to him.
Not a bad pass.
No, it's beautiful.
It's not like Barker has no experience, but again, he just has not seen a lot of live game action so far, but that wasn't bad. Right now he's sitting on the 12-yard line. Thinking end zone. There it goes, and it's out of the reach of Brown.
Simmons pass intended for number 83, Tyrone Brown. Incomplete.
Got the sidearm delivery happening there, Matt.
Morgan.
Yeah, he kind of dropped down, but you know, you have to have that ability in the Canadian Football League and playing a quarterback is a range of motion and where you release the ball. Over the top, from the side, you know, 3/4. I think that is something that's not talked about enough when you play the position of quarterback.
All right, 7 seconds to go here. Are they going to run a play? Or are they going to kick it? They're going to run a play.
I think they have time.
You got time, huh?
Yeah, they have time.
We'll see.
Do the same thing.
Yeah. Out of the shotgun, they have to get it off in a hurry. There it goes. And get out of bounds. It's Tyrone Brown. You're right. There's 2 seconds left on the clock.
Pass complete on that play.
They couldn't keep Brown in bounds. He fought his way to the sidelines to stop the clock. And of course, it would have stopped anyhow. I don't see Marini coming out just yet. Yes, here he comes. Here comes the kicker. Jacob Marini, a rookie kicker from the Hamilton area. Kicked one earlier on in the ball game to give the Argos a 3-0 lead. He was 3 for 3 in the preseason. You'll remember Dan Giancola last year. Well, he's gone to try and land himself a job in the NFL, and maybe this guy can write a similar story. From the 15, a chip shot. And it's good. No problem. Tacked 3 more points on the board for the Argos, who got a big break from that major foul. That's a huge momentum swing right there going into locker rooms, isn't it?
Yeah, Saskatchewan, they missed their field goal. They get that break there, come down. It's a 4-point swing.
We didn't know what to expect from this ball game, but so far it's a pretty good ball game. 20-15, Argos on top. You're watching the CFL Live.
Tonight's halftime show.
The CFL live on TSN at the half.
Welcome back, folks. Duffy, Tillman, and Schultz, and we talked about these two teams being mysteries, and I guess they are unraveling slowly in front of us, and I suppose this is exactly what we should expect from two basically brand new teams like this. We saw flashes of brilliance, but lots of mistakes, and we end up with a pretty tight football game, Eric.
James, I think it's been a really good game in the first half. I think you have to give the Argos a lot of credit for playing this well on the road. Jimmy Kemp has looked like a poised veteran this first half. He's utilized all his weapons, he's made some good decisions, and he capitalized on some Rider mistakes. And then right before the half, Jay Barker comes in, he moves the team down the field, boom, 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 and they get an important field goal. The most surprising element, though, of this Argo attack for me has been the offensive line. And I think you've got to give a tip of the hat to first-year rookie coach Ray Zaremba handling the offensive line with 4 first-year players. I mean, they've really played well. And it's been interesting to see a 2 tight end offense. We haven't seen a tight end in this league, Chris, I guess since the early 80s. What, Nicaragua?
In a long time. But still, you got to give some credit for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, because you could sense in the first quarter they were just filled with anxiety. Very, very young football team, and you could tell that they were making a lot of mistakes because they were just too anxious to play football. You could see it in Henry Burst. His eyes were like that big early in the game, and then in the second quarter, he was laughing. He was joking a little bit more. He's more relaxed. He starts moving in the pocket. I think Saskatchewan will come out and execute better and put 2 quarters together for a good second half. Give full credit for Toronto being ready to play, but you could tell the anxiety. It was a little overwhelming for those young Roughriders, James.
Yeah, 2 totally different quarters. All Toronto in the first, pretty much all Saskatchewan in the second, and because of that, we have a tight football game. 20-15 Argos lead. Mookie has a pair, and his team has a slim lead. Lots more ahead. Stay with us. Do not miss episode 2 of the Tim Hortons CFL All-Star Challenge, Thursday, July 27th, featuring Mike Pringle in the rubber dinghy race. He can apparently row a 4.440. A man quite an athlete. And of course, tomorrow is the season premiere of Adidas Friday Night Football. It is a cat fight. The Lions and the Tiger Cats. Both these teams had their seasons ended last year at BC Place, of course, quite differently. The Lions a devastating loss in the Western Final. The Ticats hoisting the Grey Cup. And as David Amber tells us, they are pumped about repeating.
New Year, baby, 2000! The Ticats hope their new year gets started right Friday. Despite winning the Grey Cup, head coach Ron Lancaster and league MVP Danny McManus were 0-2 against BC last season. And now Hamilton faces a new-look 4-2-6 defense that BC hopes will counter Hamilton's pass-happy offense.
We like to think that Danny's got everything under control, and he understands the Canadian game. He understands how to run a game, and I think our players have the utmost confidence in him. And I think all that is a big plus for us.
Once you get Danny off his rhythm, and you can pretty much get after everybody. I mean, you're not going to get to them. They gave up, I think, 7 or 9 sacks last year, so you just have to get people off their rhythm, reroute receivers, and just try to confuse Danny as best you can.
The biggest thing is to try to hold on to the football as long as we can, to keep Damon and his offense off the field. If it gets into where 2 and out, and Damon's on the field making 6, 7, 8 play drives, it's going to be a long night.
And Damon Allen hopes to make it a long night for a pair of CFL rookies. Defensive backs Nick Harper and Jerry Arias are 2 of the 4 new starters for the Cats, and they can expect to see a lot of pigskin headed their way Friday.
You always get tested when you're a football player, down the line if you're a vet or a rook. So, I mean, our time's going to come a little bit earlier, so I'm real excited about playing.
We still have to be effective running the football, throwing the football, and, you know, going out there and doing my job. Find the open guy, give him the football, allow our guys around me to play the game.
It's my type of game, man. I love passing, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather pass the ball than run any day, because I'm a cover guy.
Another interesting matchup has the enormous Lions O-line and bruising running back Robert Drummond versus the Ticat front 7 in a game that marks the return of Mike O'Shea to Steeltown.
Our offensive line looks huge. Let alone those 2 guys, too, the 2 running backs, Damon Allen. You know, he can hurt you in a plethora of ways. He's dangerous. No one likes facing him. No linebackers like facing him in the open field.
We match up well against Hamilton. I mean, they're the defending Grey Cup champions. We know and understand that, you know, so they're going to be fired up for their first, you know, season opener. So we have to basically match their intensity, or we'll get blown out of here.
The last time the Ticats were the defending Grey Cup champions, they got off to a horrible start the following season and finished up with a dismal 7-11 record. This time around, they know they've got to get off to a quicker start, but it won't be easy against the BC Lions. At 13-5, they had the best record in the CFL in 1999. David Amber, TSN, Hamilton.
All right, thank you, David. The Lions have actually been the only team to really have the Ticats number the last couple of years. They've won 6 of 7 the last meetings against the Tiger Cats. The Tabbies deadly at Ivor Wynne since Ronnie Lancaster took over. And Chris, David talked about the guys they've lost. Is this team as good as the team that won the Grey Cup last year?
Not really. I don't think the Hamilton Ticats right now in the month of July in the new season are as good as what they were back in November when they had the Grey Cup, and it has nothing to do with the old guys, the players that have proven themselves. It has to do with the new guys and how they're positioned. They got 2 rookies playing side by side in the secondary. That's tough. They got a new will linebacker as a rookie who's uneducated on the width of the CFL field. That's tough, too. They got a rookie at left tackle. So that's 4 guys. I mean, there's no doubt the Hamilton Ticats are going to compete for a playoff game. And, who knows? They may win the East and go on again. But it's how quick they're going to get back that synergy, that chemistry that every team needs. The reason they won it all last year, because they were a true team. They were unselfish. Everyone got along, and everyone knew where everyone was. That was very unique. They're going to be good. I don't know how great they're going to be early, Eric.
Well, I think another team that will be pretty good is the BC Lions. Yeah. Once again, expectations are high on the West Coast. Last year, they're a field goal away from a Grey Cup appearance. They are a talented football team. There's no doubt about that. But if you looked at the Calgary preseason game, I think it exposed a potential weakness, the secondary. In a tight Western Division race, the difference between first place and third place could be the back end. How good is that secondary? I really don't know, but I think we're going to find out quickly on Friday night. If they want a challenge, they've got one going up against the best in the league, Danny McManus.
You can watch that one here, or you can see it live if you're in the Hamilton area. Tickets still available for that one. Go see a game wherever you are, or call Tillman or Schultz. They have connections. On TV or on the net, TSN is the place to be. TSN.ca/CFL, the premier CFL website. Scores, standings, headlines, multimedia section. We have sounds of the game. Plus, our analysts will be writing a weekly column. Well, he took a ton of heat in the preseason, but at least for a half of football, John Heward's team looks very good. He spoke with our Ray Morrison.
All right, Coach, first of all, tell me a little bit about your quarterback situation. Is Jimmy Kemp banged up, or did you just want to get Jay Barker a look?
I just need to get Jay Barker a look.
You were talking about getting Jay Barker in. Tell me a little bit about what you saw, the little bit you saw of him.
Well, I think he moved the ball very quickly down this group, except for the delay of game. He was all set. So we'll have to see what happens in the second half.
You've got to be pleased with the way things have unfolded, especially in the first 15 minutes of this one.
I'd be a lot happier they didn't have any points.
There you go. There's the coach of the Argos.
So long-winded, that John Heward. He's such a chatterbox. There are your numbers from the first half of football. Pretty even passing. 188 yards for the Argos is strong. And the time of possession, the Argos dominating there. Almost 2/3 of the time they own the ball. 2 key Saskatchewan turnovers led to 14 Toronto points. And Mookie Mitchell with those 2 TDs. But Saskatchewan, a late charge to get back in it. And one of the reasons, Henry Burris to Dan Farthing. That was the key play that helped them get back in it in the end of the second quarter. Saskatchewan mounting a big comeback after going down 17-0, and they are right back in this one. 20-15 is the score. Farthing running, scoring. Second half coming up.
Henry Burris is getting ready to go for second half action. Let's see what his coach felt about the first half. He joined Ray Morrison.
About the first half, obviously you got off to that slow start. They put some points on the board, and then you bounce back. Tell me about your offense, and probably more so Henry Burris under the pressure he's faced here.
Well, not really any pressure. We just put the ball on the ground. It's hard to, when you're given the field position that they did, our defense, is put in some tough situations. So having said that, we fought ourselves back into this football game. Now it's time to capitalize and come out and keep the momentum.
One thought on Paul McCallum. Boy, talk about field possession. He boomed a couple to set you up in some pretty nice situations.
Great job punting the ball. Wish he would have hit that field goal, though. But, hey, having said that, enough said. We just got to come out here and have a solid second half and not commit any turnovers.
Still waiting for his dad, Virgil, to pick him up at the prize table.
Paul McCallum, there's the guy that missed the field goal. He was very accurate last season. He was 22 of 25. But he'd love to have that one back. Right now it's a 5-point deficit for his team as we get ready for second half action here at Taylor Field. Day 2 or night 2 in CFL 2000. And it's underway here in the second half as the Argos take that punt in. Here's number 11. That's going to be Dre Harris.
With the ball for the Argonauts.
And who is going to be coming out to play quarterback now? Looks like it's going to be Jay Barker, Matt.
Yeah, I firmly believe, although Coach Heward, said that he just wanted to make a change. I firmly believe that Jimmy Kemp got a dinger there and is not seeing straight as of yet. So we're going to see Jay Barker for a little while here.
Well, from what we saw from Jay Barker, beyond that delay of game penalty, the time count violation, he looked pretty good for a guy who has not seen a lot of game action. He's 1st and 10 from his own 36-yard line as we get underway here, second half. Argos up by 5.
With the ball, number 31.
And pinball is stuffed.
Once again, he meets up with number 38, George White.
Here's a look at some numbers from the first half of play that saw 35 points put on the board.
Yeah, that's overwhelming right here. It's 10 yards on first down right there. Look at that, staring you right in the face. You gotta love that. You know, young quarterback, not in second and long situations.
Clemens picked up 2 on that last play. Pass is tipped. Who's got it? The Riders do. Number 99, Chance McCarty, and it's loose again. Still loose. Somebody hit that thing, and finally 4-10. No. I think everybody had a look at that one, but it's Rider ball.
Number 99, Chance McCarty with the original turnover.
Number 39, Antoine Hunter, finally got his mitts around that slippery piece of leather, and the Riders have a huge turnover deep in Argo territory.
Redeemed himself a little bit. Well, ball's tipped up. It's a jump ball. And now it gets fun. Whenever a defensive person catches a football or is returning a football, offensively you're taught to strip the football because they're not used to it.
Saskatchewan 96, first down.
Because they're not used to carrying the football. And right there you saw Toronto do the same thing. They stripped the ball. Now you got a wild goose chase. And finally, Hunter comes up with a little redeeming factor there. He got beat a couple times early in the game.
With that turnover, the Rider delivery boys are on
But
the move,
amidst all that confusion, I did not see the flag of the play. It turned out that there was a legal block on it by Bamadeli Ali, so it sets them back quite a ways. They're going to be at the 53-yard line of the Argonauts. They were sitting pretty. Now they got some work to do. But Burris settles in to get it done. Little handoff goes to Tyler. Dion Tyler is met hard by number 73, Calvin Tiggle. Steps up, stuffs the run.
By 73, Calvin Tiggle, and number 41, John Raposo.
Henry Burris had his good moments in the first half.
You know,
had his bad moments. He had a little bit of up and down, but certainly he's got his team in position here, Matt.
You know, this isn't what you want to see right here. It's not what you want to see at all. The 5 of 11, but the 2 TDs and the production on the other end is good. They're going to some simple throws that Henry can execute, get some rhythm, and that's so important for a young guy to gain confidence early.
Gain of 2 on the play. 2nd and 8. Burris out of that shotgun, looking to put it up. He's got Farthing on the far side, trying to get away from Glenn Young, and Young was not going to let go of his shoes.
Stretches as far as
he knows how important it is to get that extra 2 yards, you know, and make it a 2nd or a 3rd and short situation for him, and give the coach something to think about anyways.
Short of the first down, it is going to be 3rd down, and it does not look like they are going to go for it. Too much of a gamble at this stage of the game. 12:33 to go. Now, what have you seen that you've liked from both teams?
Well, obviously, you know, effective and opportunistic offense. What they've done is they've capitalized on turnovers for the most part. Saskatchewan took advantage of a short field, and Toronto took advantage of early Saskatchewan turnovers. That's good signs of teams when they can make those turnovers and short fields into points, and that's what we're seeing here already.
There's the points off of turnovers right there. Speaking of being opportunistic, the Argos have really taken advantage, scoring 14 of them. 2 touchdowns. Paul McCallum has pinball inside his own 10. He's backed him up all night. This is not a good punt. It is whistled down. He doesn't look happy at all.
Paul needs to eat a Snickers bar or something there. You know, he missed the field goal late there at the half, and then he shanked this one here at the beginning of the second half. You know, his energy level may not be very good.
And with that, we'll take a quick break. As the 3rd quarter crawls to a start here, it's still 20-15 Argos. Most of Daryl Mitchell's action in the CFL, in fact, all of it, has come from the slot back position. They've moved him to the wideout position this season, and it doesn't seem to bother him. He's got 2 touchdown receptions tonight. This one was in the first quarter, a 24-yarder from Jimmy Kemp, and then after a Riders turnover, early second quarter, he was in double coverage, but Kemp made a nice pass where only Mitchell could get it, and he got it. 2 touchdowns already in the year 2000 for the great Daryl Mitchell.
He's brought down by 47, Aaron Cohen.
Pinball getting back in the action there, you know, putting Toronto in second short situations, and this is exactly what you want offensively, is you can dictate to the defense now what they can and can't do, because you have choices here. Your entire offensive play selection is at your fingertips when you're in a second and short situation.
The ball off, and it looks like they have
number 31, Mike
Vincent Donaldson doesn't think so. Things have kind of slowed down. First down for the Argos. Things have kind of slowed down here to start this second half of the ball game.
They have, you know, defense have had a look at the different formations.
Yeah.
They've adjusted. They've settled down now.
There's Pinball Clemens. If you think he's done at 35 years of age, think again. He was involved in a big way in their great opening drive, which really kind of set the tone for the Argos. That opening drive, everybody wanted to see what they had, and they drove the ball very effectively, and a lot of it was pinball. The ball goes to him again.
And I just don't know if they can continue to make a living at jamming pinball up in the line of scrimmage and hitting a little crease like that. I understand what they're trying to get done, but pinball is not that type of back. Yes, he's durable. He's proved that to the fans all over Canada that he does have durability. He can go in there and make plays, but Mike is better in space. You know, get you Eric Lapointe in there and let that boy slash up in there. You know, he can take it 20, 25 times a game between the tackles.
One thing about pinball, here's the stat from last season. No touchdowns for the first time in his career. The Rock goes back to pinball. He's got some room. There's some space. He cuts to his left, and he's still going. A little lateral to Daryl Mitchell. Mitchell's got lots of room. There's one man to beat, and he is in for the touchdown.
Initially with the ball, number 31, Mike
What a play by the Argos.
Number 87,
no flags.
On cue, he finds some space where, though, up the middle, he makes some great cuts, found a nice hole, dished it outside, was running out of steam. He saw his buddy Daryl Mitchell, said, you take it the rest of the way.
I'm 35 years old here.
He's just coming right here, folks. He's coming right down the pipe, right in this hole. Going to follow the blocking up front. Boom, right up the middle. He does the best. Oh, he'll make you miss in the phone booth, Mike Pinball Clemens will. That's how good he is.
He still got the moves. You saw them there. And then the presence of mind to flick it out to Mookie, and he's in. A 69-yard play at the extra point, and it is 27-15. The Argonauts answering their critics tonight so far in Taylor Field. Back right after this. Now, Matt, as great as that play was, when it happened and the lateral happened, I could have sworn it was a forward lateral. I didn't say anything, but take a look at this replay, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, you know, from this angle, it looks definitely like a forward lateral, but, you know, Mike is traveling forward. He's pitched the ball already, and now Mookie gets it. Mike kind of quit running there, kind of adds to it, but...
Boy, that's real close there.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's tough. He's right. Here's Dion Tyler, who slipped on this brand new turf here at Taylor Field. Still a little slick from earlier rain. Here's another look.
Take another look at it right here. Right here, you've got the ball right in this area. You can watch the yard marker right here on the bottom. Pass ball. Mike kind of stops running. Of course, Mookie's running fast. It gives you the illusion it's a forward lateral, but it counts, folks.
You know, I'm going to go right out and say it. That was a forward lateral.
All right.
You know?
Hey, Clemens like heard me up here in the booth talking about Lapointe. He got a little bent out of shape, took it right up the middle for a big play.
Could have sworn it was that way when I saw the play, but wow, that replay sure looks suspicious. There's Tyler going up the middle. There's going to be a hold on that one. Flag is down.
Martavius Houston, and there is a flag.
Let's see what Murray Clark has to say. Well, nothing seems to bother Henry Burris. He just keeps right on
Holding.
rolling.
Saskatchewan 54. First down.
Jeremy O'Day, veteran lineman, called for holding there. He's going to set the Riders back a little bit. The offensive line, Matt, is the strength of this team going into this season. Got a lot of veterans there, and they're missing Ben Fairbrother tonight, who is injured, so they got a lot of depth up front. By that time, they set themselves back 10 yards. Burris, 1st and 20. Got a man wide open. It's Eric Gulliford, who's out close to the 40.
Great play. Get the young quarterback out and around. Give him some easy vision, and you don't have to get it all in one chunk. You got 2 to get 20. He takes half of it with the first throw here to Gulliford. A smart play by Danny Barrett, getting him out and around, giving him something that is simple that he can execute. High percentage of execution there. It's exactly what you want to do. Great play calling. Put the young quarterback in a good situation.
Danny Barrett, of course, calls the play. He also doubles as the offensive coordinator for this team. A lot on his plate as a first-year head coach, but he says he delegates with his assistants. 2nd and 7. Here's Burris. Put the ball up. He's got Gulliford again, who's been busy, but the ball's loose. And Wayne Shaw has it. Another crucial turnover for the Riders.
Burris shows you a strong arm. He just shoots this in a very small window.
Ball recovered by number 9.
Hits Gulliford again. Hits Gulliford again, just shotgun. Great protection, got all day. He's able to step into his throw.
Special hello to Dr.
Fires a shot right in between the linebackers.
Of Sutherland Elementary School in
And Gulliford just gets careless with the football. And this is what Toronto feasted on early in the game, and how they got some of their 14 of their points.
It looked like number 6, Vernon Mitchell, was the one that laid the hit that jarred the ball loose. And it's another turnover, and the Argonauts have taken advantage of those turnovers all night long. Spin ball bouncing to the outside.
And off to number 31, Mike Clemens.
On that last touchdown play, Clemens took care of 24 yards. Mitchell, the other 45. Here's another look at the lateral.
Okay, he's got rid of the ball right there. Mookie catches it about a yard. About a 2-yard separation there.
He's even looking forward when he let it go. It appears to be a tough break for the Riders. But it's history now. They got to forget about it, move on, and stop this Argonauts offense, and that will help.
With the ball and nowhere to go,
Barker
number 7,
is dropped
Jay Barker.
By number 38, George White.
Barker sacked by number 38, George White.
Nowhere to run for Jay Barker. You know, smart play. He could have thrown it away, or could, just get down. And, it looks like he kind of got caught in between doing both. But Jay's going to try to create something. Realizes that he can't outrun McCarty and White coming and pursuing, and he just kind of falls down. Smart play. Don't turn it over. Let your team go out there, punt it away, and pin him back into poor field position.
Chance McCarty in on that play as well as George White, a couple of first-year players for Saskatchewan, making some plays. And Noel Prefontaine will kick it away from his own 45-yard line. That's where it's scooped up by Gulliford. Looking for some room, Eric Gulliford gets to around the 25-yard line, and that's where Burris will take over, and we will take a break. 27-15, Toronto on top. A very, very nice ceremony at halftime to honor the great wide receiver of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Don Narcisse, and he is right now with our Ray Morris.
He has 919 career receptions, a CFL record. Don Narcisse, 13 years here in Saskatchewan, an opportunity to be honored by over 20,000 here. Your thoughts?
I tell you what, it was great. I enjoyed my stay here. I was very blessed to play 13 years in the same place, and man, it's just great.
What's next for Don Narcisse?
I tell you what, I got a lot of business opportunities that's out there. I've been waiting for this to close up. I've been waiting to close the chapter up for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and I'm going to be able to do whatever I want to do, and I'm going to prosper in it.
What is your fondest memory of being here in Saskatchewan for as long as you were?
I tell you what, just the fan support. The Rider fans are something else. But when I got a chance to fly my dad down for the first time in his life, he got a chance to witness his son be the all-time leading receiver. Man, that's going to last forever.
Don, best of luck down the road.
Well, thank you very much. And for all you kids, dreams do come true.
Back to Dave.
Class act A classy ceremony by the Riders. Here's Burris going to the air to number 82, Daryl Hobbs. Now, he is wearing 82 now, but during the preseason, he was wearing number 80 that belonged to Don Narcisse. It's what he wore in previous seasons down in the NFL, and he wanted to hang on to it, but given the situation, he made a nice move himself and upped his number to 82.
Good call. Didn't want to get behind the 8-ball from the get-go.
Yeah.
I'm watching Henry Burris throw the ball out here. He's making this look like an arena football league size field. He's throwing the ball around here at will now.
Got a good arm, but he's got some work to do. Down by 12. Out of the shotgun, looking to pass again. Lots of time, and he's got Farthing over the middle. He threaded the needle there as Glenn Young was all over Farthing. And he put it right on the number 10.
Great protection by Terry and Green. Comiskey, O'Day. Look at this pocket just right up in here, folks. Just a huge pocket. He's going to step up in this hole right here. Buy himself some time.
Ball now marked on the Argo 34.
Oh, and Farthing does a great job of shielding the defender off and stopping and opening up some space and gives Henry Burris a spot to throw it to, and he delivers the mail.
It's two big plays. They got a big run from Tyler, followed by that 17-yard pass to Farthing. That pass is high and almost picked off again. Wayne Shaw was in the area. A lot of Argos were there, and Burris got away with one.
Yeah, trying to look for them to be setting up the hitch and go. We saw it earlier in the first half, and they ran the hitches there. They're trying to set Toronto up. I know Danny Barrett, he loved that play, and I don't know if they'll come back to it right away, but look for that down the road here. They've set it up a few times now, a couple of quick hitches, and high percentage throws for Henry Burris.
It'll be 2nd and 10 now from the Toronto 34-yard line. Here's Burris out of that shotgun. In amongst 3 Argos, and he's complete to number 88, Curtis Marsh.
Number 88, Curtis Marsh.
Boy, he's spreading around now. Get him out and around. Give him some vision. Don't let them get a beat on the young quarterback. Move him. Move him. There he is standing right there. It's just a hammer. It's just a flat over the top and a hook. Real simple pattern.
We're seeing some real good passes.
165, what you call that one. Put the ball on the money. Move the chains.
He is putting it on the money, and it's another first down. Flags are on this play. He's going into the end zone. It is high, but he had a free play by the looks of things, as flags were everywhere. Henry Burris burst onto the scene last year with the Calgary Stampeders when Dave Dickinson got hurt early in the season. In a game against Edmonton, Burris came in against their Alberta rivals and rallied the team. They were down in the ball game when he came in. He rallied the team, won that ball game.
Offside. Toronto 96. First down.
Then they went into Montreal the next week. He had to start against a very good Alouette team that had yet to lose a game, and they lost when he was through with them. And it was basically those 2 games, Matt, that the Roughriders hung their hat on when they went out to sign him.
This right here, this completion percentage is improved drastically the second half. He's really coming on now.
More flags on that play.
Hey, let's get out of here. Let's go.
Flag blown dead.
Burris is really feeling it now. He's 6 of his last 7 through the air. Another penalty against the Argos. He doesn't have to pass the ball if the Argos keep backing up.
Well, just a great job of...
Toronto 96. First down.
That's exactly why they're drawn offsides. Great voice inflection there, pulling them offsides. Young quarterback showing us he's mature.
They're on the doorstep now. He hands off to Tyler, who's got no room. That Argonauts defense stuffed him. Martavius Houston says that ball was loose. I think he's going to lose that argument. And it will be 2nd down.
Tackled by 73, Calvin Tiggle.
You know, I say that Henry Burris is mature down there using his voice inflection. That's something they work on. I guarantee it, that's what Danny Barrett brings to this football team and this young quarterback. Is the ability to utilize the entire package, the smarts, the wherewithal in order to go down there and draw a team off. Have the smarts, the patience in order to do that.
This is the 9th play of a long drive for the Riders. They were deep earlier in the game. Another flag. Did he draw them offside again? No, this one's going to go against the Riders.
Looks like a time count violation, is what I'm saying. Just didn't get the ball off, possibly offsides, whatever. There's straight penalties back and forth right now. Second down. Situations where running out of time, probably offensive lineman saw the clock was running down, wanted to move because he knew he didn't have a choice. And
it was Dan Comiskey that got flagged on the play, and Danny Barrett's got to be upset because I was just about to say they were deep in this end of the field earlier in the ball game. They didn't get a touchdown. They did not get a field goal as McCallum missed it. They had to settle for a single. Now they got to start thinking, we got to punch this into the end zone with 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Burris floats it up, looking for Marsh. No! The coverage was there from Byron Capers.
Pass intended for number 88, Curtis Marsh.
Not enough separation, Matt.
Incomplete. Coverage on the play.
Not enough separation. You know, Curtis Marsh is now in the slot right here. He was at wide out, but now he's in the slot. They're bringing some heat on Henry. He just throws it up early, throws off his back foot, doesn't get a lot on it, runs a good route. Ball's a little underthrown. He can't come up with the catch. But Capers, you know, he was beaten on the play. And again, Burris was under pressure, had to throw off his back foot.
A 69-yard drive stalls. The field goal try from around 22 is good from Paul McCallum. And it's 27-18. Good one going here at Taylor Field in Regina. It's been a busy week for the CFL on TSN. John Wells and Glenn Suter were in Calgary last night. They will be in Hamilton tomorrow night for a good ball game. The BC Lions taking on the defending Grey Cup champs. We got that one for you on Adidas Friday Night Football. Jimmy Kemp is back in the game at quarterback for the Argonauts. He hands the ball off there to Michael Jenkins. So the musical quarterbacks continue here for the Argos. Barker is out. Kemp is right back in, Matt.
Hey, great numbers, you know, and the interception that you see right here at the end of the board, right here, folks, that wasn't Jimmy Kemp's fault. He was getting popped in the mouth, and that one went straight up in the air. That was a free-for-all, but maybe the fog has lifted for Kemp, and he's able to see a level playing field now. And Jay got a little time. Now it's Kemp's turn.
Gain of 9 on that last play. Second and very short. The handout goes to Jenkins. He's got that and a whole lot more across the 45-yard line of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This guy has not looked bad at all.
It's just 23-year-old. It's just formationing, Dave. You know, they've just formation Saskatchewan this entire game, and now they catch him off guard. They've got everybody lined up to the field. They squeeze him inside. He bounces outside. It's actually a bounce play. Actually, a bounce play. Just a nice seal right here. Jenkins sees that. He's out and around, and that's just formation. That play from the start, before the snap of the ball, was going to be successful based on formation.
And the ball goes right back to Jenkins. He goes back to that left side, and he's still on his feet. Michael Jenkins to the 15-yard line. You know, before he transferred to Arkansas,
Omar Morgan.
He played for Wyoming, and in one game in Ohio State, he rushed for close to 250 yards at Ohio State. So the guy can roll up the numbers.
He's a workhorse. He loves getting a lot of work, like most backs do.
Argonauts have the ball now.
And
Rider at 15.
as good backs do, they get better with every carry.
They're sitting right on the doorstep now, the 15-yard line. Going to hand the ball off this time to Clement, who fights his way inside the 10, just inside.
Tackled by 43.
The Argos, who showed a lot of pass early on in this game, have started running the ball. Jenkins is coming back in. Not a bad debut for Michael Jenkins. And you know what? We talked to J.I. Albrecht before this ball game, and there's been so much bad press about John Ewart and Albrecht, and he's telling us about these players. They're saying, hey, where did you see these guys play? Well, who's laughing right now? Jenkins through the middle. Not in, as he's met by a whole bunch of Green Riders, including number 22, Alundis Bryce.
Back out of the end zone by 22, Alundis Bryce.
And that was the last play of the third quarter. We'll come back with the Argonauts looking to punch it in. Right now, it's 27-18, back to CFL control.
Fans, it's time for our next Safeway Fan in the Stands giveaway.
The CFL live on TSN at the quarter.
Well, you know, a lot of eyebrows were raised, including about 6 of them in here when the Argos dressed 5 running backs and went with that 2 tight end set. But I tell you, they are pounding it, especially right now.
Hey, what's going on? We're having a revolution in the Canadian Football League. John Heward, what can I say? Hey, the 2 tight ends, the 5 running backs are working. You're controlling the line of scrimmage. You're dominating the clock. You're eating up valuable time. And if you can hang on and get a win here, this is a huge win for your football team. A team that's been highly criticized, and it certainly appears at this point, a team maybe that's been unjustly criticized, Chris.
And you know, if I was Danny Barrett, I would kind of confront my offensive line and say, guys, this is when I need you. Look at what they're doing to us. To us, they're running the ball right off the edge. They're completely dominating the line of scrimmage. You are my veteran guys, John Terry, Andrew Green, Comiskey, O'Day. You got to get your act together, protect my quarterback, because that is the strength of the team, and they haven't dominated the way the Argos had with those 2 tight ends, and it does surprise me, James.
You're starting to sound like a coach.
Well, maybe a little bit, you know, because it is a position I'm familiar with, but the 2 tight ends, the whole idea is to have a physical mismatch, and that's what they're getting.
And take my advice, keep the cushy job.
I will.
I know. You learned that one. And, you know, Jenkins been very impressive on this drive. And how about Pinball Clemens, especially on that one run? And by the way, we had a couple more looks. It was 3 yards forward, but it was still a very impressive run by Pinball Clemens, and the Argos driving again with the lead.
Yeah, there was an awful lot of talk before these guys had even played a game. And I think maybe after tonight, if this keeps going the way it has been for 3 quarters, maybe all the teams in the league are going to start giving their players popsicles. Here are the numbers after 3 quarters, Matt.
The rushing yard is very impressive. Last year, Toronto did not have a rushing game. And right here, this is going to wear on Saskatchewan this 4th quarter. When you can control the football on the line of scrimmage like they're doing with the rushing game, that right there is going to dictate the end of this football game, because Saskatchewan's not going to have a lot left in the tank.
Well, right now, that Gary Echeverry defense has to come up with a huge stand. 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Kemp hands off. Here comes Jenkins. No.
With the ball, number 27, Michael Jenkins met with a wall of green.
Aaron
led
Collins.
by number 47, Aaron Collins, and number 38, George White.
Aaron Collins just steps up and says, hello. Say hello to my little face mask. And he blows him up right there, stuffs him on the goal line. That's goal line defense right there.
That's a good stick right there, and Gary Echeverry loves every bit of it. A solid 4-year man out of Penn State. Here they go again. Kemp again to Jenkins, and this time he's in. Touchdown, Argos.
Leaping over the pack, number 27.
Impressive drive by the Argonauts, Dave. All the way down the field, rushing the football, controlling the line of scrimmage, formation, and then giving themselves a chance of success. And they were going to go left. They're going to go left. They went left 7 times in a row, I believe, and then right back up the middle, crossed them up, and they found a crease enough to get in the end zone.
And you saw the reaction from John Heward, which was basically the way he's looked ever since we've seen him the last 2 days. He's very, very even keel. Not too high, not too low. Eric Tillman talked about perhaps a revolution happening in the CFL. It's not only are popsicles going to be all the rage, but maybe this double tight end set could be all the rage. The Argos have a comfy little lead with 13:59 to go in the ball game. It's 34-18 Argos. A 7-play drive that went 75 yards of good old-fashioned smash-mouth football, and it was Jenkins, and a little more Michael Jenkins, Matt, to punch it in.
And he was the beneficiary of some great blocking up front, great formation, play calling. Jude St. John pulls on the touchdown and opens up a gigantic hole just off center, and it was basically a walk-in for 6.
Here's Deion Tyler, who had a nice return the last time he got his hands on the ball, but right now the story is the other new running back that we're just seeing here on TSN, and that is Michael Jenkins.
Stopped by number 5, Eric.
That's not bad. That's not bad right there.
Spotted on the rider 42.
Touchdown look right here. You see Jude St. John pulling right here, kicking out. Jenkins just goes straight up the gap. Here's Jude right there, 66, pulling. Watch him step up. Take on. All right. Piece of cake. That's power football at its best right there.
Elias Bryce met him at the line, but it was a mismatch going in. Here's Burris swinging out to the wide side of the field. He's got Marsh. That is complete close to midfield. So now it's time for the Riders to complete their drives. They've been moving the ball down the field, but they haven't been able to hit the end zone, and right now that's the difference.
Yeah, you got to finish those drives, and that's going to win the ball games. You got to get majors, and we've seen Toronto do that, been able to do that, control the line of scrimmage.
Ball now on the Rider 54.
Control the line of scrimmage against a team that was run on and run on and run on all of last year. Maybe they're not as improved as they thought they were.
The Riders gave up 164 yards a game. There's Burris up in the air. He's got a man again. Eric Gulliford, who appears to be his favorite target tonight.
Gets the first down and then is brought down by
that was a real weakness last year, was defending the run.
Gulliford's right here. He's been a target of Burris all night long. He's been spreading the ball around really well. Farthing, Hobbs, Gulliford, and here's Gulliford sitting in the hole, showing us a strong arm. Burris just sticks it to him, then simple football. Find a hole in the zone and sit down.
On the 36-yard line, Burris out of the pocket again. Here comes the heat. He locks it up. Marsh is there. Flags on the play.
Pass intended for number 88, Curtis Marsh, and there are flags.
So who's it going to be against, Marsh or the Toronto defense?
Flip a coin, I'm going to say Toronto.
Looks like Danny Barrett is already, yeah, there you go.
You know, good effort by Marsh, you know, going up, being aggressive to the football. And when you're going, being aggressive to the football, more times than
interference. Toronto number 9. First down.
Wayne Shaw. It's a 35-yard pass, and now they go sit on the goal line.
The owner of vehicle license WGL.
Yeah, pretty obvious right there.
Please move your vehicle. You're blocking.
Wayne Shaw just bats him in the back there and pushes him in the back and causes the interference. And again, Marsh is being aggressive to the football and going after the football where Shaw did not know where it was.
First and goal from the 2, Tyler. And he is stuffed.
For the ball for the Riders, number 35.
Dion Tyler trying to answer what Jenkins did down at the other end. Now, the difference between Jenkins and Tyler, they're both around the same height. In fact, Tyler's a little taller, but Jenkins is 207. Tyler's just 180.
Yeah, exactly, and Toronto's defense is trying to do exactly what a little payback down there, because Jenkins took a shot down there earlier, and Martavis Houston laid a lick on him there a couple of times.
I think they're in 3-down football, don't you think here, Matt?
Have to score here. Got to get major.
They go back to Tyler, and Tyler is not in. In fact, the ball is loose, and the Argonauts have it. And things go from bad to worse for the Roughriders.
Fumble on the play.
A killer. John Heward's defense steps up big. Wayne Blair came up with the football, and that look kind of says it all, Matt.
Yeah, it's great second effort. He gets spun around. He's got a low center of gravity. Boom. Ball's gone already. He never had handle of the football. It looked like he dropped it. A poor quarterback, running back exchange here, which happens. Ball hits. Oh, he had that ball cleanly. He just dropped it going in the line of scrimmage, trying to get himself positioned to turn and twist and try to fight for the end zone. Burris gave it to him, and young man just put it on the ground across his team.
4 turnovers. Now, they've got to forget about that. There's 11 and a half minutes to go. They've got Toronto on their own goal line. They got to keep them there. Here's the challenge for Gary Echeverry's defense.
I think they hear you, Dave. They know exactly the situation, and they came hard there trying to pin Toronto back down
Jenkins
here.
stopped up by 38. George White.
They went to Jenkins again to see if he could get them a little bit of room.
He's used to carrying the rock quite often. You're talking about his Ohio State game. Kid can flat out run. And the more he totes the rock, the better he gets.
Now there's a look at the man who created that dominant defense for the Argos last year, in the past couple of seasons, as a matter of fact. He's now in charge of the defense here in Saskatchewan, Gary Echeverry. And here's a big test for his unit. 2nd and 8. Kemp throwing out of his own end zone. Tyrone Brown almost had it,
Pass intended for
but
number
couldn't
83,
hang on.
Tyrone Brown. It was in.
No damage done.
Beautiful throw behind. This is a planned throw behind. The ball is behind the receiver. Ball is behind the receivers where he can adjust, and the defensive back does not know and can't react quickly enough. Just didn't come down with a pretty ball by Kemp. I know that T. Brown would like to have that one back. Getting back to Etcheverry, I think one of the best defense coordinators in the league, along with Don Southern. Just fantastic.
And he's got to be happy with the coverage there by Omar Morgan, who did a decent job, I think, breaking up the tail end of it, as Brown just couldn't squeeze it. But Etch certainly doesn't look happy right now. There's Morgan, one of 4 rookies back there for the Riders at a BYU. And it looks like they're going to give him field position here, Matt. I'd give up a safety, perhaps.
It's a smart play.
Yeah, why not? A field position move as Pinball Clemens is going to concede the single point. Take a few precious seconds off the clock.
Looked like he almost blew out a knee there, too, trying to throttle down. Pinball lost a little juice in his legs there.
Yeah.
You see him kind of get caught there. Look at him. He knows
Sorry,
it,
Matt.
too.
I think I said single point. Obviously, safety. Yeah, it's 2. Anyway, it's a 14-point game, so it's well within range. There's 10 minutes to go. 34-20. Argos. Well, Argo fans, I know a lot of you are tuning in to see what your team had to show this season. So far, it looks pretty good. If you want to get out to next week's game against the Alouettes, there's the number to call. That's next Tuesday. The next home game for the Riders is July 28th against the Calgary Stampeders. And there's the number to call if you want to head out to Taylor Field. Great to see a real nice crowd out here on what's turned out to be a beautiful night in Regina. I'm sure they're a little disappointed right now, but there's still 10 minutes to go. Here's Burris. He's got Chris Zarka out of the backfield. Is at the 40. And dropped in a hurry.
Martavius Houston showing you why he had 90 tackles for the Argos last year. Led the team in tackles.
Yeah, Martavius Houston as a CFL rookie last year. Boy, a dominant player on a very good Argonaut defense. He stood out as a first-year player, and they are happy to have him back.
Experimented with him, too, in the preseason.
Yeah.
Had him at free safety, then put him back to Will, and I couldn't understand why they put him at free. Take the guy who tackles the best on the team, has the most tackles and taken in the secondary, and put him in secondary. Didn't happen. They put him back at Will linebacker, and they show you why they put him back there, because he's a tremendous open field tackler.
Major foul, face mask, 82 Saskatchewan. 2nd down.
Boy, oh boy, Matt. That is just got to kill him. They've got a lot of things going against them right now, and now Darryl Hobbs with a face mask penalty.
10 minutes to go in the game, Dave. Plenty of time. 2 touchdowns. That can happen in 2 minutes or a minute here in the CFL. But, you know, you don't like to see this. They've lost their momentum completely here, and Toronto's definitely in charge of this football game.
So it'll be 2nd and 18 after the penalty from their own 27-yard line. Here's Burris scrambling out of that pocket, throwing on the run. And there were more Argos closer to that pass than Curtis Marsh was. And that'll be it for the offense. You're right, momentum is definitely wearing white right now. And for the first time tonight, Henry Burris is not smiling.
McCallum's got to come up with a good punt here, or else Toronto's going to be back in good field position. Could possibly put even more points up on the board. See if he can get a good one off here, help his team out.
Both the special teams players counting everything up. Tyrone Brown back to receive this punt from Paul McCallum. As the clock ticks away. Another good low punt by McCallum. Backs Brown up to his own 30-yard line. Here comes Brown, turning around. Heads up the middle. He's got the outside. Last man to beat is the punter. And Chris Zarka caught him from behind there before there was too much damage done, but a good return, a 29-yard return by Tyrone Brown. Back after this. He's a head coach now, but he was a pretty darn good quarterback in the CFL. Over 23,000 yards passing, 133 touchdown passes. And I was there the night he threw for 601 yards in BC against the Argos, and that was a record until somebody passed for a ridiculous number of, what, 7? How many was it?
There you go there. Hey, Denny Barrett had a great night. You know, I got lucky, had a great night.
Got lucky for 713 yards worth of
offense. I had a whole lot of help, too.
Yeah, it was Alfred Jackson, right?
AJ had a big night. David Williams had a big night. Wilcox had a big night.
And you say nothing was said.
O-line had a big night.
Nothing was said in the huddle over that whole thing?
Just in the fourth quarter. Say, Matty, you're
hot.
You're almost at 700.
Well, it's a great record, that's for sure. And that run is going nowhere. They had Jenkins' number there. You know, just to get back to that point, one thing I've often wondered, it was against the Edmonton Eskimos, right?
Yeah.
And I've often wondered what it must have been like in the DB meeting the next day when, you know, they're looking at film about. That's got to be a horror show for those poor guys.
Yeah.
You know, did they even look at the film?
I'm sure they did. It was a pretty close game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like 55-35 or something like that.
Well,
it was a pretty close game.
It's a pretty good record there.
We should have had 900. I underthrew AJ a couple times.
Alfred Jackson, of course, now the BC Lions. There's the handoff to Jenkins again, who has become their go-to man here in the second quarter. They are going to run between the tackles and eat up the clock.
They're wearing this kid out. They're running between the tackles. And offensive line, there's a lot of question marks going into this because they wanted to go All-American at the beginning of the year, preseason. And then they turned around and revamped and had to go All-Canadian, brought some guys back. And now they're just wearing Saskatchewan out between the tackles.
And look at the numbers along the ground for the Toronto Argonauts tonight. Ouch. They're going for it on... No, beg your pardon. They're going to punt it away. And they just got it away. And that punt is going to go straight into the end zone, where they will add more points to their total. A single point this time. Put another one on the board for the Argos. They are in firm control tonight. Well, there's John Heward, the man who apparently had a whole bunch of outdated methods and was headed for disaster for the Toronto Argonauts. Now, it is early, but so far, so good. This was an important ball game for both teams. Both teams wanted to see what they had. And while the Riders haven't been miserable, they've made a lot of mistakes, while the Argos have played a pretty darn good football game, Matt.
Yeah, they have. They really have. And the only time they got in trouble was on field position late in the second quarter and cost them a couple touchdowns.
Burris again going to work. Here comes some heat, and down he goes as that Argo defense swarms him. Number 41, Raposo was in there. Johnny Scott, the new Argo, was in there. And now they're just throwing the book at Henry Burris. A loss of 8 on the play.
Johnny Scott making an impact. The top of your screen, great swim move. Used his speed and his strength. Showed you just about everything he's got there.
And he's got a lot.
Speed, strength. Then he's crawling to the quarterback and brings him down.
Burris again. The pocket was collapsing, so he had to just air it out and get rid of that football before he was dropped again. Johnny Scott had 10 sacks last year for the BC Lions. That was 4th in the CFL, and 4 of his 10 sacks came against Saskatchewan. So perhaps he had that in the back of his mind as he entered this ball game tonight. But a solid addition to this defense in Toronto. And how's that? It's a very good defensive line in BC. So good they could afford to give up Johnny Scott.
John Heward, tough man to please. You know, you saw Joe Mumford's totals of 26 and said that was pretty good. That guy could play for me. I wonder if Johnny Scott's 23 stacks up.
McCallum gets one away, end over end. And it's scooped up again by Brown. Gets away. There's a flag down on that play.
With the ball, the Argonauts, number 83.
You know what that's going to be. He's at the 45-yard line. We're talking a little bit about the BC Lions there. Well, speaking of those Lions, they fell one game short from getting all the way to the Grey Cup last year. The long march begins for them tomorrow night for Damon Allen and the rest of his teammates against the defending Grey Cup champions, league MVP, Grey Cup MVP, Danny McManus. We think we got a pretty good football game for you on the first edition of the Adidas Friday Night Football season for this 2000 calendar. The Lions and the Tiger Cats, John Wells, Glenn Suter. You'll be back in the studio in Toronto for that one?
Boy, I'm looking at my chops. Great. Got two experienced quarterbacks going at it, as opposed to the younger guys going at it here tonight. Looking forward to that one.
First and 10 from their 45. Little play action by Kemp. Swings it out. He's got a man, one of those tight ends. That is number 86, James Haley. Rookie out of Kentucky.
He is like he's used to catching the ball now in Hal Mummy's offense at the University of Kentucky. I can guarantee you that, but he is a true tight end. Big, tall, and slow.
Well,
caught from behind.
When you're 6'3", 245, you can't be that fleet of foot, but you're also a tough target to bring down, so, you know, it's a double-edged sword, I guess.
I like the slot backs myself.
Second and 2. The handoff goes to Jenkins again. He's hit hard by Omar Morgan, but he barely slowed him down. He picked up maybe another yard after the hit.
But again, they go back to it, you know, chewing up the clock, dominating the line of scrimmage, just pounding it out, wearing out this team that was really tested last year quite often.
And with that run there, Michael Jenkins now has his first 100-yard rushing game in the CFL, and it's been impressive. Last year, Ryan Terry ran the ball a lot for Toronto. Had Tony Burson there for a little while. Nobody was sure what to expect tonight. But there's a new guy in the backfield. He wears number 27, and he looks all right.
He's caught by number 38, George White.
And again, they're just going to eat up that clock, Matt, with 3:50 and counting, nursing a 15-point lead here.
Danny Barrett still knows that there's plenty of time. He needs a turnover and needs to get a quick score, and then he's back in the ball game and everything's back where he wants it. Gives his team a chance.
Danny Barrett coaching his first game as a head coach in the CFL. Same with John Heward. The last game that Heward coached, as Jenkins is stuffed, met by number 43, Arkal Trulak.
By 91, Demetrius Maxey, and number 43, Arkal Trulak.
The last game that John Heward coached was 1993 at Maine Military Academy. And we asked him, are you excited? And he looked just like he does now, you know, very even keel. And that's the situation here, Matt. His persona, his even keel, kind of no-nonsense personality has rubbed people the wrong way. He's not a great quote. He doesn't embrace the media. Therefore, he has become an easy target. But I'll tell you what, he's having the last laugh, at least tonight.
Well, tonight, yeah, his team performed well. And, you know, not one game does a season make, but, you know, he's gotten off to a good start and hopefully silence some critics and, you know, and gain some support, because Toronto, we know, needs to fly as a franchise.
Well, I know it sounds like I told you so, and it's easy to say now with a 15-point lead, but a lot of the criticism, it got to ridiculous levels. Everything you read, everything you saw about the Argos was just so negative before they'd even played a game that counted. Well, this one counts, and it's pretty well all wrapped up. The next edition of the TSN Sports Desk is coming your way, 2 a.m. Eastern Time, 11 o'clock Pacific. Rod Smith and David Pratt will be with you, and among other things, they will show you a post-game report. Ray Morrison will have a full report on this ball game. We'll look ahead to the Lions-Ticats clash tomorrow night, and as you saw earlier tonight on TSN, the Jays got a win in Cleveland. That and more coming up on Sports Desk. Here's Henry Burks. Lots of time. He better get rid of it. He doesn't, and Roger Dunbrack dropped him.
Second sack of the night. Dunbrack having a field day, getting off to a good start. That's just hustle. That's want to. It's getting to the quarterback, tasting it, knowing your team's ahead. If I can just keep my legs motoring and work hard, all you young kids, never stop. Just keep your motor running, and it pays off for you. Dunbrack shows you right there.
5 sacks for Dunbrack last season, 2 already tonight. Burks, and that pass is going to be short-hopped. A flag in the defensive backfield.
For number 10, Dan Farthing. Flags on the play.
Flag, but late too, whatever it is. It's after the play, after the ball had skipped.
See what Murray Clark has to say.
Murray's been pumping some weights.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Toronto 44, second down.
Yes, I guess he has.
Look at those cannons on that guy. He's the biggest. I'm not gonna dispute a guy with that call. Look at the cannons on that guy. Look at those things. They're bigger. Look at that. I'm not talking about some cannons right there. You can't even put a big enough circle around those guns. It's like Wallabies in a pinstripe uniform out there.
Okay. Eric Gulliford on the end of that pass.
Complete to number 84, Eric Gulliford.
Yeah, the new breed, I guess, of CFL officials.
Yeah, you don't like my call, mess with me.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to mess with his calls, would you?
We haven't had to dispute many of them. You know, there's great officiating last night and in Montreal, and, you know, just really smooth start for the CFL.
Here's Curtis Marsh. There was one play that we thought was a little odd earlier on the touchdown by Darryl Mitchell after a lateral pass from Pinball Clemens. You can debate that one all you want, but the deficit right now is greater than that one touchdown, so it's really kind of a wash.
Yeah, that's
Danny Barrett.
Not a difference maker now.
Yeah.
Could have been.
So there's John Heward. Next week, he will go home to face the Montreal Alouettes. Both of these teams, we mentioned how important this game was for them. It is week 1, but they both needed to find out what they had, and they both needed a win because both teams have very difficult schedules following this one. As for the Argos, I mean, that's pretty tough. Home and home with Montreal, Hamilton twice, Calgary, BC twice. Winnipeg's going to be improved this year. This is an important win for them tonight, Matt.
Oh, it really is. It really is. It's a tough road to haul. I don't care how good you are. That's a tough road.
Conversely, as far as the Saskatchewan Roughriders are concerned, they are now in a big hole because they're going to lose this ball game, and they've got a tough schedule ahead of them as well, and we'll show you that in a moment. Right now, Burris is still working. Nice catch by Eric Gulliford. A one-hander just across the Argos 50-yard line.
Quickly becoming a go-to guy for Burris.
Not until he gets his first down.
You can understand that. Veteran receiver, you know, it feels comfortable with him, can find him. You go back to him.
Eric Gulliver's having a nice night catching the football. There have been some good work, some good catches done by this new Saskatchewan receiving corps. It's not enough. As Burris airmails that one over everybody's head.
84, Eric Gulliford.
There's been ups and there's been downs for Henry Burris in his first start as a Saskatchewan Roughrider, but I don't think the fans here, Matt, are going to leave too disappointed. I think he's shown them enough to bring him back, don't you?
I think so. A lot of optimism should be felt here in Saskatchewan. Turnovers hurt him. Turnovers just crushed him. And, you know, you ask any head coach, Danny Barrett, you know, knows this as well as anybody. That'll hurt you.
2nd and 10 as he gets one into Farthing, who gets up and picks up a few more. Dan Farthing, look out! Still on his feet inside the 20. Somebody better wrap him up. They finally do. Nice play by the Canadian slot, Dan Farthing.
It's great listening to you call that too, Dave, because it just gives me chills, man, watching a guy's effort like that. That's just, you know, you're down by 16 points, 2 minutes to go in the game. Farthing goes down low, breaks one tackle, spins around, finds some space, breaks another tackle right there, alludes to one right there, one right there. That's 4. He's got face mask, that's 5. And he's still swinging as he's going down. That is an incredible play, but you know what? That epitomizes the play of the Saskatchewan Roughriders and how I'm looking.
Face mask, Toronto 73, first down.
And view this football team. You know, Suits and I talk about all the time, old school type of mentality. Never say die. You know, you got your Jurisons, you've got your Elgards, you know, you saw your Narcissus out here. These guys just never quit. Bob Polies, you know, these guys just are continually get after type of mentality. You saw that with Farthing.
Henry Burris is now looking for the end zone, going for the corner. He's got Marsh. No! Just out of bounds.
Pass intended for number 88, Curtis Marsh.
Good call, right on the boundary. Right on the boundary. Good call, referees right there. Great positioning. Just a, excellent call.
Well, he was right on top of it.
Pretty easy to see.
Here we are, kind of counting this as a win for the Argos, the old golden rule. I mean, there's a minute 48 left. And had they connected on that play, or this one here, I guess never say die, right? I should listen to you and Glenn. Burris drills one into Eric Gulliver. Touchdown, Riders. Hold everything.
You gotta love it, baby. It can happen, and it happens a lot in the CFL.
Well, it's a 10-point deficit now. They will likely, obviously, go for the 2-point converts.
Another high percentage throw. 1, 2, 3, slant pattern. Drill it in there on the numbers. That's easy pickings. Goes to his money guy, Eric Gulliford. Puts him back in this ball game with 1:45 left to go.
They're going to go for 2. Clearly, that's the decision here to make. Gulliford's had a great night. Let's see what happens here. Out of the shotgun, Burris. Zarka, it's a one-on-one battle, and is he in? Yes, he is!
Put Zarka on that list for never say die, man. You just put my head down and run it over you.
And that'll make it 36-28 with 1:45 left to go in the football game.
And it's an 8-point ball game with 1:45 on the clock. Gulliford with a touchdown and a great effort by Zarka for the 2-point convert.
Slippy running a screen here. Good timing. One-on-one in the open field with Shaw, and Shaw's not.
That looked like it was real close, too. And
Shaw's not going to win that battle very often.
Now, Wayne Shaw, 5'9", 190. Chris Zarka, 6'2", 225. And now it's nice to have the fullback as your outlet man for that exact scenario. It looked awful close in terms of his knee being down, but forget about it. Count it. And you know what? I feel awful. When Danny Barrett's looking at this tape, we're kind of... You and I both know Danny, and we were counting this as a win for Toronto. I feel a little bad right now.
I wouldn't count it out. It was, we've talked about it. It was a close game last night. Shivs and I were talking about it at one point in the Calgary-Edmonton game. Edmonton was still within striking distance with several minutes to go in the ball game. Anything can happen in this game.
Absolutely. Should know that by now, Randorf. Right, Matt?
Hey. That's what makes it the Canadian Football League.
Lots of time to go. They're going to go for the squib kick. Do they have to?
No, I think they got to kick it deep.
Got to kick it
plenty of time.
Yeah.
Lose field position here.
No.
Oh, they're going for a pooch.
Not exactly a deep one.
Just kick it out.
Between, and it goes.
They almost kicked that out. It looked like he kicked it out with his right knee.
Number 19, Richard Brooks.
The Argos
you can't do that.
Start.
You can slap it out. You kick it out to change the possession.
Right.
You can watch Brooks here, and I don't know if he understands this because he is new to this league, but if you kick the ball out, that's a change of possession, other team's football. You can slap it out with your hand, and it's your football at the point of the ball went out of bounds. But right there, you can't see it because Maxie's big backside's in the way. Here's where it gets interesting.
You know what? A lot of fans left Taylor Field, but the ones who are still here are up on their feet making some noise, and it's going to be a finish here. They're going to hand it to Jenkins again, who picks up a few more. Running to the outside, but he stops the clock. Of course it will.
Well, they'll talk to him about running out of bounds, although the clock stops. The clock will start as soon as the referee blows the whistle, but not now because the ball went out of bounds. They'll talk to Jenkins about that. They'll get it straightened out. But we got a ball game right here. While we have a timeout, can I take this time an opportunity to wish Susan Falk a happy 4th wedding anniversary from her husband, Chad, who's the center of the Toronto Argonauts football team. They're married in Kelowna, BC. And Chad misses you very much, Susan. Want to extend those wishes to you. He's in the thick of it here now, though.
Well, this is obviously a big play. 2nd and 6 from their own 41. The crowd urging the D on. The handoff to the veteran Clemens.
To number 27, Michael
I
Jenkins.
beg your pardon, it was Jenkins again. And he's very close to the first down.
Arkel Trueluck, number 43.
And it looks like
Any
they're
bets?
waving for the chains, Matt.
Any bets?
No way. Here come the chains.
I'm saying move those chains.
You think so?
You know.
Well, this kid's been tough.
Oh, he's been money. And he's running it behind. Offensive line's been doing a job for him all night long. Salter, Bush, Falk, St. John, Annunziata.
Wasn't even close.
Talk about a
Jenkins
huge
got it.
night. 16 for 116 yards and a touchdown. Michael Jenkins showing you why they're so excited about him in the backfield.
Well, that Argonaut offense answered the bell there. You're right about that offensive line. That was a question mark coming into this game for that man, John Hewitt, but they've obviously done the job along with Jenkins. And it's a fresh set of downs. They go right back to him. He goes to his right, close to another first down. I think he's got it.
With the ball, number 27.
Looks like the first play of the ball game. You know, it looks like they're fresh. Looks like they're coming off the football. There's a good indication of the dominance of the line of scrimmage. You got Demetrius Maxey right here. And Salter just puts him off the ball about 6 yards, and then Joseph coming up getting a lick on him, and Folk gonna finish him off, saying, hello, Demetrius. We miss you here at
9
Toronto.
yards on that play, 2nd and 1.
Well, stopping the run, we've talked about it all night, was a huge problem for the Riders last season, and it's the huge difference in this ball game right now. The Argonauts are well over 200 yards along the ground. Most of it, this guy right here, Jenkins again, almost busted loose. That was on 2nd and
Jenkins
short.
again for the Argonauts, breaks through the line.
And now we're down to 47 seconds to go. They're getting close to field goal range.
Got 47 seconds, Dave. My oldest boy, Dane Dunnigan's turning 12 today, and I told him I wish him happy birthday. Happy birthday, son. Wished I could be there with you.
Did they get TSN down in Valdosta?
No, but they'll get this tape, and if I don't put that on there, I'm in trouble.
Okay. Happy birthday, Dane. Let's see what happens now. Clock is running. Well, there's no secret now who's going to get that ball. It's going to be Jenkins. Jenkins has been that way for the entire fourth quarter, pretty much.
It's like Jenkins' birthday out there right now. He's just getting gift after gift, just toting the rock, just adding to his total.
He's at a coming out party here at Taylor Field. And it's a no-brainer at this point. The game ball is going to go to Michael Jenkins. 135 yards rushing so far, the 1 TD, and this ball game is over. As the Argos offense came out and did what they had to do, they ate up the remaining 1.5 minutes on the clock after the Riders scored a late touchdown. And John Hewitt, the much maligned, much criticized coach of the Toronto Argonauts, along with his managing director, J.I. Albrecht, well, they're going to have a real nice flight home to Toronto. And it'll be interesting to read all of the reports tomorrow.
Oh, they should be about football. They should all be about football, and they should all be about the positive things that these players have done on the football field here tonight, and the positive things that have come out of Saskatchewan as well.
He looks excited, doesn't he? I guess, you know, that's what we're going to have to get used to, this guy. That's the way he is. He makes no apologies for it, and he certainly doesn't have to apologize for anything tonight. There's his first career win as a CFL head coach. If they keep playing like this, there will be more to follow.
Leaving the stadium tonight, please use extreme caution around all
The final score, 36-28. As the Argos came in here, they were able to throw the ball. They got both quarterbacks some action, but the key was the running of rookie running back Michael Jenkins.
You know, and he's beneficiary again of that offensive line play. Folk, Salter, Bush, St. John, and Annunziata They dominated the line of scrimmage. You know, you've got to put in Clark and Haley in there because they're in the double tights quite a bit tonight. And they've dominated the line of scrimmage, which was the difference tonight.
And next week should be a very interesting battle between number 27s, Mike Pringle and Jenkins, as the Argos now look ahead to the Montreal Alouettes.
James Duffy back at CFL Control, and that is the sound of a lot of Argo doubters eating a little bit of crow tonight, at least for 1 week. A very impressive performance on both sides of the ball as they win their 2000 opener. And we are right back at you on Friday evening with the season premiere of Adidas Friday Night Football, the Lions against the defending champions from Hamilton. For more on that game and this one and all your league news and views, log on to tsn.ca/CFL. About an hour from now, it's Sports Desk with Rod and Dave. Full baseball story plus post-game reaction from this one. Up next, it's Motoring 99 joint in progress. And yes, tonight at least, they were the Toronto Juggernauts. That was a little bit forward, but it was still a pretty touchdown. Mookie had 3, and the Argos win their opener. This has been a presentation of TSN, Canada's most watched sports network. Smile, John!